this is Lynn Modishon from Modishon's Herbals, and tonight's Wisdom from Gran is going to be talking about candle magic. Now, I had somebody ask about candle magic, and so I thought, well, today's probably a good day to do that. So, while I thought that, it didn't occur to me that today is the moon is waning, and so I'm going to tell you how to do a prosperity candle, but we're not going to light it because we would be fighting the moon. The moon is getting smaller right now, so now is the time that you actually want to be doing banishing magic. Now, we could put the intent in this candle to match the waning moon, like have less debt. Instead of being prosperous, because ultimately it's kind of the same bottom line. But that doesn't feel good to me tonight, doing it that way. I think that I want to wait until the new moon, and to then go ahead and put it into practice when the moon is right. So some things. So again, then tonight would be, or for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing magic that is waning, that is making it smaller. So we could do a health spell to make the illness smaller and banish the illness from some of the people that we know. That would work. But I didn't come prepared to do that. So we're going to go ahead with the like I told you, with the prosperity candle, and then we'll wait to light it until after the new moon. So color is one of the important parts of candle magic. It is, as you look, you can find all over everywhere, and actually you can even find a piece of paper on the wall by the candles in my shop, what the colors mean. So typically, if we look at the colors of the rainbow, red is going to be for passion and excitement and courage. Orange is going to be for creativity. Yellow is communication and standing in your power. The green is for prosperity and love of others. Pink is love of self. The blue is, again, communication and speaking your own personal truth and health. The dark blue or purple is a good one for connecting with spirit or meditating. And white is the presence of all colors. So you can use a white candle for any color, because all of the colors are in the white candle. It's like the light. So if the sun shines through a raindrop and you get a rainbow, the white light opens up to all of the colors. Black is the absence of color. It is banishing and wanting it to go away. It is, you can get the outcome you want. If I needed desperately today to have some sort of money to pay a bill or something, I could do the prosperity candle, but you're kind of, swimming against the tide. And so if you can make it, that is to the time the moon is right, that's a good thing. So candle magic is based on what is known as sympathetic magic. People used to use clay or wax figures of symbols of what they wanted, and you can still use those. It is, but it takes the place, and like a physical thing, So the candle typically is standing in for something, for the desired outcome or a person. It is something that we're doing in sympathy. So when you light a candle in the Catholic Church, you're lighting the candle for somebody else, for their whatever their problems are, whether it is whether they're sick, or whether you are sending them love, or if they're having some mental or emotional disorders. The candle is standing in their stead to send the prayers up to where it is that that you're going. The By manipulating the candles, you are manipulating the people. So if you are having a fight with somebody, and you take two candles and you put them far apart, and then after a little while you bring them closer together and closer together and closer together, that is a candle spell to stop the argument and stop the fighting. It is you have to be careful when you're doing candle magic that you're not taking away somebody's free will. I mean, that's kind of important just regardless. And so we want to make sure that you have permission to do any candle magic for anybody. It is the size of the candle is somewhat important as well. Most magic that I do with candles, I either use a tea light or a jar candle. So I mean, the ridiculous to the sublime. It is if it's something that when I am calling the quarters, I use the tea lights, and I use them again and again to call the quarters, because I always know they're in the right colored lantern, so that I always use the south candle to call the south, and the east, and all of them. So they're used for the same purpose. I wouldn't mix up, okay, today you're going to call the south and tomorrow you'll call the west or the east. That's that's not something that I typically do. There's a lot of different types of candles. You have altar candles, you have the elemental candles, which are the quarters. You have petitioner candles. Petitioner candles are when you are doing magic for someone else, and you look at the person and how you feel about them, you choose the color for them, and then you light that with your request of what it is that you want for that person. There's an offertory candle, which is the color of your working. There's astral candles, representing other people involved, and things that you need to have. Let me rephrase that. Things that you might want to have would be a candle snuffer to turn the candle, when you decide to blow the candle out. Now, there's a couple of things about releasing the candle. And this is something that you have to bring into your heart, think about it, and decide what works best for you. There is a school of thought that when you blow out the candle with your breath, you're spitting on the candle and disrespecting the magic. Another school of thought is when you blow the candle, just like if you blow a blown dandelion seed, you're spreading the magic and sending the magic out. So you need to determine what works best for you. Generally, I use a candle snuffer, and I got a new candle snuffer. It's right here. It was a gift, and they got it for me because the top here, I don't know if you can see it because it's a little bit far away, but it is a flower that is in the shape of an owl. And then at the bottom here there's a ring of roses around the bottom of the candle snuffer. And my daughter saw this and said, "That is just so mom." And so now this is my new candle snuffer. It's pretty cool. I like that. Other tools that you can use with Candle Magic are Sharpie pens, or a carving instrument like an awl, um, or I have an obsidian needle that I sometimes will use. And then you can also use oils, and you can use herbs. And I've got some crystals here that I'm going to use as well. So it is, if I am asking for a tangible end result, I will write it on a piece of paper and put it under the candle. That way I will read it to the candle, and then I will put it underneath it, put the candle on whatever I'm going to put the candle on, and I will leave it there to burn until it burns out. That way the universe knows what I want from this candle, the candle knows what I want from this candle, and I know what I want from this candle. So there is no confusion anywhere. It is it's, if you have confusion and you don't know exactly what it is you want, you're more than likely not going to get the end result that you're looking for. So timing is important for magic. It just in general, it is, you need to be of good health, okay? Because if you're not in good health, then your energy isn't vibrant and easily used. If you don't necessarily need to use a circle. You don't need to cast a circle. It is, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're in sacred space. And so I keep my house pretty sacred space. It is, I will either use bells and clear the house with toning, or I will smudge, or I will sweep the energy. And the intent at that time is that this is sacred space and it's protected. It is, you can do the same thing with your body and have a ritual bath before you do your magic, if that's something that you think is important. There's a difference between low magic and high magic. Low magic is the magic of the people, and high magic is more formal and fancy. And so if you were going to do high magic, you probably would cast the circle, you would wear a ritual robe, or you would go skyclad, whatever it is that is your tradition to do, but you wouldn't wear the jeans and sweatshirt that I'm currently wearing for high magic. It is, that's something that you decide before you're going to do it. All right, how am I going to do this ritual? Now, in doing a not a protection, apparently I need to do a protection spell because I've kept saying that multiple times today. But this is for prosperity. So it is a jar candle, so I cannot carve on the jar candle. So what I'm going to do is one of two things. I'm going to either draw symbols of prosperity on the jar, or I am going to like decoupage pictures of what it is that I want. Now, prosperity and protection and love, all of these spells, these words can mean multiple things to different people. So for a kid in school, prosperity could be good grades. It could be having a lot of friends. It isn't always about money. It is what is going to enrich your life so that things go better for you. So for me right now, I mean, prosperity, is very definitely tied to the shop. And so what I would do is I would put a ring of people around here, signifying to me community. And it is because if we have a community, we can be prosperous together by using our magic together. And it is, and that's kind of what we want to do. Building community is important. This is actually a really long candle around. Now, another thing of prosperity, part of my life right now, is having the confidence to know that I have what I need. We've experienced a year of hardship, very little social interaction, shortages of food and toilet paper and other things. And so I'm also going to put on here, I'm going to put flowers signifying my garden. And knowing that I have the ability to grow some of the food that I'm looking for. And then I am also going to put a couple of dollar signs on here because there are bills that need to be paid that I cannot pay with my garden, and I can't necessarily pay with community. So that is how I am writing on this candle what it is that I would like for it to do. Now, when you dress your candle, there's a couple of ways you can do it. There is as above, so below. And that's generally what I do. And I will put the oil on my fingers. And what I've got here is prosperity ritual oil. And it is, and I would open this up and put it on the outside of the jar, or because it is a jarred candle, I can put it in a in a clockwise circle around the top of the candle. Now, if I decided to do a banish debt, then it would be a counterclockwise circle around the top of the candle. What I would do then next is have written down a little couplet of what it is that I want this candle to do. I would put it on here, and this is a piece of wood that I can put the candle on. I have patchouli leaves in here, which is an herb for prosperity, and I will put it around because I don't want to put it on top because I don't want it to burn. So I'll put it around the candle, and then I would maybe put some malachite or some green calcite around here as well, and that way I have herbs, I have stones, I have the candle, and that's a nice powerful, you have my intention, that's a nice powerful spell. So the other way to dress the candle, I'm going to tell you on the other candle. So that's how I would do the prosperity candle. Now, what I decided to do is a little candle divination. All right. So I am going to use altar oil. Now, again, you can use it as above, where you put your finger and your thumb and go up on the four sides of the candle representing the quarters, so below, and then you put it down, do the same thing down to the bottom. Now, other people will look at if this is a growing ritual that you're doing, starting at the bottom of the candle, come all the way up to the top, and then do it again on the other two quarters. If it is a banishing one, you can start at the top and go down and then do the second quarters. So again, it is what feels good to you, what feels natural to you. So what I am going to do is, I haven't opened up this ritual oil yet, so there we go. All right, I'm going to do the as above, so below, because that's typically what I do. So I've got the oil here, and I'm going to put it on both fingers, and we'll pull it up. So as above, so below. Now the offering herbs that I have is a special blend of incense that I use to keep me safe, keep me calm, open. Well, if I can open it up, yeah, and open to receiving information. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit here on the table, and then I'm going to, on the wood, and then I'm going to roll the candle in it. Now it'll stick to the oil. The finer the grind, and this isn't fine ground, but the finer the grind, the better it'll stick. All right, and then I'm going to take a little bit more and put it around the candle. Okay, now I've got 2 stones. I've got a scolecite, which is used for intuition and calming and opening up and communication. And so that's going on one side. And then I have my amphibole, and this is the one that I use when I am meditating or when I'm channeling. So we've got then herbs for channeling and opening up, and stones, and we've got the candle ready to go. All right, so what we're going to do is divination for the candles. And the way you're going to do this is you're going to look at the flame, and you're going to look at how it burns. So right off the top, I'm going to tell you, if the candle burns evenly, and we're not going to be here long enough to know if it burns evenly, because, you know, we'd have to wait a half an hour or so before it goes down. But most traditions mean that an evenly burning candle, which does not have unusual smoke or movement, usually means everything's going according to plan. If the candle has a very tall flame, it is thought to mean that whatever it is you're intending is strong in nature and is going to succeed. If it has a small but steady flame, it means you should keep going, but remain focused and don't get unfocused. If the candle flame is erratic with movement, it signals a strong chaotic energy. If the flame is also large, it is usually accompanied by success. But if your flame is small, you may be facing a strong opposition. If the candle makes popping sounds, it is thought to imply that there will be interference in your intentions, and it will not be an easy path. If your candle flame goes suddenly out, one or two things. Either you left the window open, or you're not going to have any success. And you should go ahead and just be done at that point. If the candle flame refuses to extinguish, you should be patient and watch it for a little bit more and look for another outcome. And if the candle will not light, then it's believed you are practicing at the wrong time. So, if your candle makes a lot of smoke, it means you should ease your mind, relax, and let things come to you rather than try to force it. So, we're going to light the candle and see what goes. Of course, I guess it would work better if the lighter worked. Okay, so it's burning the wick away right now. And it'll start burning the wax in just a few minutes. So that's what we're going to wait for, is we're going to wait for it to start burning the wax. Now this is a pretty tall candle. I'm going to sit back so that I don't, that I don't influence the candle with my breath. So this is a pretty tall candle flame. And so our intention is strong, and it is going to be hopefully successful. It is, so if I'm looking at, maybe what I'm going to look at is our community as a whole, the magical community. Is it going to survive and be successful coming out of this COVID pandemic? So I'll let it burn for a minute, and then we'll see what we got. I'll tell you, I find it a bit interesting that there is no wavering in the flame. And the reason I find that interesting is because this is a very drafty house. And so usually the candle flames, if I'm just burning candles, they dance a little bit more. And this is not dancing at all. It is strong. It is, it's a good size. It's not a tiny flame. I think that what this is telling me right now is that we as a community are going to be okay. I mean, we tend to take care of each other a little bit more than some other communities. And we tend to be closer to nature. So we grow some of our own food. We go wildcrafting for our own herbs. I think we're going to be okay. I think that there was a little bit of movement, and the flame did shrink a little bit. So I don't think it's going to be necessarily an easy ride. I think that we have to make an effort to get the end results that we want. But we all know that with magic, the intent is all that we need to have. If we don't live with intent, we're not going to get things handed freely to us. So for me, that's what I would look at as the answer to the community for witches. If you have any questions, please write them down and I'll respond. Also, if you need to talk, give me a call, because you can call me at the shop, or you can send me a note over Facebook and we can talk that way. For me, I think one of the hardest parts of this whole episode has been the lack of social interaction. And it is, and I know that I've had probably more social interaction than most of you, but it's still been hard. And so if you want to talk, please feel free to do so. And if you have an idea for what to talk about next week, shoot me a line for that too, because I could use some suggestions for that. I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that if you try your candle magic, that it works well for you. And I'm going to go ahead right now and let the candle extinguish. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, and have a good evening and a wonderful week, and I will see you next Wednesday. Good night. And blessed be.